Idiosyncratic Music Meltdown.
No,
Thank
it's not. It's not idiosyncratic
uh,
music. Meltdown.
Idiosyncratic Idiots Music Meltdown. Thank you for joining us. We welcome all of our wonderful subscribers.
Here, sit, sit.
Okay, so
Sit this way, lean.
well, I'm not on the camera.
Okay, go ahead. Start your.
There's nobody watching.
It doesn't matter.
Okay. Welcome. Glad you could join us tonight. It's a beautiful, rainy, 40-degree night here at the Music Nerd headquarters here in Northwest Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Welcome to our premiere live. We thank you for joining us. Welcome. So the one is me.
No, it was up before you connected.
Oh, now we got somebody else. Welcome to Idiosyncratic Idiots Music Meltdown premiere live stream. I'm your host, Timothy Lee. We're here at the Music Nerd compound here in Northwest Pennsylvania on a beautiful, rainy and cold fall night. And we are so glad to have you here with us. I want to thank each and every one of the viewers and the subscribers who have helped us reach our initial goal, which was to get 50 to enable this live stream. And in doing that, we were able to connect more with the viewers and spread this thing called music and keep it alive. And most importantly, y'all know, keep it loud. We hit our 10th sub on September 28th, and we're now over 70. And I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us. It's overwhelming the response we've had to some of the videos, and we're really having fun doing this. Again, we're in the Music Nerd headquarters here in Northwest Pennsylvania. We've got the boss of the operation, the great Jesse Jones from JJP Productions. We have, thank you, Timothy, for that comment. We have our one and only mascot Boots here behind us, always with us in spirit. And again, we want to thank everyone who has subscribed, who has viewed the videos. It's overwhelming to both of us that you're taking your time out to watch what we love to do, and we're really enjoying doing this. So, and hopefully in the end there's something educational. And if there's any younger viewers out there that maybe they're introduced to music they've never heard of, and it'll lead them to learn something new about music that maybe they haven't heard. We also want to give a really big thank you for Jamie Wolf for being our number 50th subscriber to put us over the top. Hi, Dorian. Nice to have you in the chat with us tonight. I'm glad you're in here. You're the kind of viewer we're looking for. We want to introduce you to some new music. Check out some of our videos. Maybe there'll be an artist in there that you might see that you've never heard. I know that there's thousands of bands, and there's so much ease of access to music these days, especially with the internet. It's a little different than when I was your age, but I suggest you try every day to find something new, find a different genre, find a different band, an artist, whatever it may be, because music is a powerful thing. And any advice for me? Well, the best advice I can give you is work hard and live a simple life, and you will find freedom. So let's go through some of the.
Maybe ask Hugh Janis what kind of music does he like.
So, what kind of music do you like, Hugh? What kind of music piques your interest? Is there a specific genre? Pop music, rock music?
Oh, Christian music. Oh, that's
beautiful.
great.
That's awesome. Good for you. There's some great Christian artists out there. Stephen Curtis Chapman comes to mind. Mercy Me, Third Day, lots of great. And then you can go back to Shirley Caesar, Andre Crouch. There's some really great musicians out there, and that's a wonderful genre of music. So good for you. I'm really happy to hear that.
What artists? Carrie Job?
Carrie Job? Well, see, now you're even turning me on to something I've never heard, so I'll have to look that up. I'll write that down. And
that's great. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that. So we want to go through
keep listening to Christian music.
We want to kind of go through what our aim is with this.
NP Pops?
No, I said no problem, Pops.
Oh.
Come on, guy. Sorry, the director is still learning the whole
she's older.
Internet.
She's older,
lingo.
More mature.
Yeah.
The most.
But like I said, there's so much music out there that can be covered.
Thank you for the like.
I really appreciate you being here. We hope to try to do this at least once a week, maybe more if time permitting. But just to sit here and discuss music and talk about things that maybe I've learned or bands that I've. Yeah, it's fine if you call me. It's fine if you call me Pops. Awesome. I'm an old man.
I like it.
It's better than like Grandpa. Hey, what's up, Brandon? Thanks for joining us, man. I appreciate it. Really appreciate you joining us. That really means a lot, Brandon. Like I said, we're just here to, kind of introduce people to some new music that maybe that they haven't been familiar with or haven't heard of before. I mean, obviously, at my age, I'm more like into the 60s, 70s, 80s stuff. The boss of the JJP Productions, Jessie Jones, sitting to my left. She's more into the 90s and 2000s.
No. No.
Okay. I guess that's a no. Sorry. Forgive me.
No.
But
that's when I grew up, but
we just don't want music to get lost in the time. I mean, with everything being so easy to find, there's so much stuff out there. Oh yeah, I definitely heard of Skillet. That's another great one. Thanks for bringing that up, Brandon. That's a really good one. Yep. I mean, I'm not too, there's certain ones that I go to in that genre of music, but definitely I've heard of Skillet. And I remember when they were doing, I think it was called like Kingdom. Who's my favorite artist? Wow, that's a tough one. I would say it's a cross between either the Allman Brothers Band or Government Mule. And a gentleman who I highly suggest you all go out and look up if you don't know who this gentleman is, from Asheville, North Carolina, is Warren Haynes. An amazing musician. He's the hardest working guy in the business right now. And the best part is he does it because he loves music. And like me, he wants to keep it alive. He's not price gouging. You're not going to pay $200 or $300 for a ticket to go see him, and you're going to get your $40 or $50 ticket price easily, no matter. So check out Government Mule, or obviously he spent many years with the Allman Brothers, and dare I say, he was the one. Him and Alan Woody kind of brought them back from the brink. At the time when they joined them for Seven Turns record, they were down and out, but he definitely brought them back, and then they had a whole second part of their career. Top 5 artists, boy. Like I said, Allman Brothers, Government Mule, a band called Y&T out of San Francisco, a kind of 80s metal band, hair metal band, I guess you would say. REO Speedwagon from my home state of Illinois. Uh, Boy, you're putting me on the spot. That, it's Def Leppard is another one. Um, there's so many out there, and it just, the great thing about music is it's all goes on your mood, and it can lift you up, it can make you happy. One song in the morning can change your whole day around. Unfortunately too, it can bring back bad memories, it can make you sad, it can, that kind of thing as well. But there's something intrinsically special about the power of music and how it can affect every individual. And that's the thing that I love about music. And that's why it's so special to me and has always been a big thing. Um, exactly, Brandon. Exactly. There's no doubt about it. And I mean, whether it be in your work day, whether it be in your personal life, whether you're doing housework or whatever it may be. And I mean, obviously, you know, I'm an old man, so I'm going back to the days with the Walkman and the big lunky headphones. But now with earbuds and Bluetooth and all these modern inventions, it's so much easier to be more mobile with the stuff. In fact, I ride my electric scooter all the time, and I got my phone on there, and I listen to music every time on my ride to work and back. Um, it's magical, and I love that part of it. And again, you can cross all genres. You want to listen to country one day and then screamo rock the next, or whatever the mood might be. So I think it's important to continually move around and explore different types of music. And what you younger generation may not understand. I mean, Brandon, you probably do, maybe don't, but like when I was your guys' age, it was you had to work to find new music. It wasn't so easy to find. Yeah, I'm not a huge. There's a few, but even today's country isn't that much. Explore more genre. The reason why I listen to Christian. Good for you. God bless you. God bless your parents. There's
Don't
nothing wrong with that. I mean,
that's a wonderful thing. There's
that's
so
a
much to
beautiful
be
thing.
learned from that. And don't ever lose your faith. If there's one piece of
Thank you.
advice,
I appreciate that, Thor. Thank you. It only took 108 years, but we finally got it done. So that was, I was born and raised in Chicago, in the southwest suburbs of Chicago, and it was a monstrous moment as a diehard, long-suffering Cubs fan. So and I always feel bad for all the people that unfortunately passed away and didn't get to see that. I think they were the ones that deserved it more than me. But thank you very much for that, and thanks for joining us. Did you want to say something?
if I may jump in with Hugh, Hugh, hi Hugh, thanks for joining. Hey buddy, don't ever lose your faith. Always keep a connection with God. If that's the only advice we can give as old people, keep connected with God no matter what you do.
Yeah, I can understand Thor being a Cardinals fan, but hey, they've also had their runs, So and there's obviously a lot of history between St. Louis and Chicago. So whether it be hockey or football or baseball, so I feel you. St. Louis is a great town. I mean, and like I said, one of my favorite bands is the Allman Brothers, and I'm sure you know Kay Shee, and St. Louis is was a huge and a monstrous city for the band, the Allman Brothers band, and so I definitely am connected in been to St. Louis, and it's a great. Ironically, the big arch in that was made in Warren, right?
Yeah.
And that arch in St. Louis was made right in one of the towns that's right near where we're living. So that's kind of an interesting side fact. But that's the thing. The thing is I know sometimes music gets lost in the shuffle because it is so easy to find it. And I think the thing that made it so special for me back in the day, and I'm talking in the like late 70s, is is working to find music. I will never forget reading Cream magazine and looking at the back pages, and then you could find people that you could trade tapes with, and I'm talking cassette tapes, and it was an amazing thing.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Hugh.
That
She's a
means a lot.
special young lady, so she has a lot of good advice. So, and I really appreciate everybody that's joined us tonight for the thumbs up. This is our premiere live stream. This is the first time we've done this on this channel. She has a sister channel that she does her lives, but this is the first time we've done it on this one. And I want to thank and welcome everybody. I'm Timothy Lee, your host from Idiosyncratic Idiots Music Meltdown. And don't forget our mascot Boots here in the background. She's always with us, and that. But getting back to it, just working for the music, and so a lot of times what I'll do now, I know there's a bunch of different streaming services. There's Tidal, there's Spotify, there's Pandora. I don't know, Amazon Music, YouTube Music. There you go, YouTube Music. Uh, However you find your music, a lot of times I like to just randomly. I personally, and this is an unpaid advertisement, I use Tidal, Tidal. That's a streaming service that I use. They'll always offer up new artists, and I try at least several times a week to just click on one and see what it's about. Some I don't like, some I do like. So I mean, it's what's the name of your Hugh's asking for the name of your account. So put a link up on there. I'm gonna have her put a link up for you. No, you're fine. You're fine. That's no problem at all. I'm just glad you're here. I'm glad you're but that like I said, uh search out new genres, search out new bands. It's not gonna say you're gonna like it. It may be a one off and then you go on to something new, but I think that's really, really important. And the biggest thing is to keep music alive, and especially our musical history. There's a whole Americana genre of music that has been based and born in America, and that's also really important. Obviously, we know about all the British bands and the Beatles and the Stones and the Who and all that kind of stuff, but there's also a whole history. Muddy Waters put it best in a song where he said, "The blues had a baby and they called it rock and roll," and that sums it up right there. I mean, do a deep dive into the blues, into the Mississippi Delta blues, into the Chicago blues, into the Texas blues, and then kind of work your way into rock and roll and see how they kind of morphed it into that. And you'll see the influences of Keith Richards and Mick Jagger of so many bands that were influenced by those kind of guys. Oh, for sure. There's no doubt about it. And Brandon, a lot of that has to do with the fact that, they don't make really any money selling records. Going in and spending money in a studio to record a record, it's not a big money maker. The money right now is in the merch and being on the road. And that's why thanks, Brandon, for bringing that up, because it brings me back to a guy named Warren Haynes and this band called Government Mule. They go out, they're touring constantly on the road. But the great thing is when even if they come through a city two times, maybe three times in a year, which they don't much anymore, but even if they come through two times, I will guarantee you that you might listen to a few songs that you heard the last time if you go both times, but you're going to hear a wide variety. And That's you're exactly right, and unfortunately that's the problem. Back in the 70s and the early 80s, when touring was a thing and going to concerts, which I've been to hundreds of them, when they were coming through town once a year, then but these guys are, when you're coming through like say Pittsburgh 3 times in a year, a lot of times bands are doing the exact same set and not like really stretching out, because obviously it's a lot of work. So I highly encourage you to go check out some of the guys. Another musician that I highly recommend that some of you may not know, and Hugh, I highly encourage you to go check out. It's called the Tedeschi Trucks Band. Derek Trucks. Look up Derek Trucks or Susan Tedeschi. Google search them and check out their music. This guy is the he's the greatest slide guitar player in the world right now, and he is an absolute virtuoso. He started when he was, I think, 13, 12 or something, very young, and was also part of the revival of the Allman Brothers, his uncle being one of the founding members, Butch Trucks. But definitely check him out. And again, these are guys that they're not doing this to get rich. Let me give you a story about Tedeschi Trucks Band. During the COVID pandemic, they kept every one of their crew and all their employees on the books and paid them through that whole thing, though they didn't tour at all, obviously. And that says something about the person. And that's what I love about it, because they're in this for the love of music. And it's not just a dollar thing. It's not just about how much money I can make. So there's so many out there, and I really encourage you to find everything. The one great thing, even that I've learned here, is with the great YouTube, is that you can deep dive on it and find so much stuff on there and clips. A show that I highly recommend is called Rock Palast out of Germany. So many bands have done that. They have those, what's that called? The NPR Tiny Desk concert series.
Yeah, those are good.
Those are really good. You can see the what's the one out of Austin?
Tiny Desk concert.
Yeah, and then Austin City Limits. That's another one that's a great one. I mean, there's a ton of those out there, and I highly recommend you go out and check that out. I mean, it's amazing. So also. Oh, that's for sure. That's a great point, Brandon. That's a real good point. That's for sure. And unfortunately, it's kind of, and the weird thing is, even some of the classic rock bands, the Rolling Stones, look, when they did "Miss You," that was during the disco era, and it was, man, for lack of a better term, it was almost a disco record when they put that record out. So I get it, and it does bring you back to but look, and here's another thing. With the recent passing of Phil Lesh, the original bass player with the Grateful Dead, Quincy Jones, who, if you're not familiar with, a producer and a musician in his own right, did all the huge Michael Jackson records, and so many other artists. But as these guys are starting to pass away, now is the time to keep this alive and, keep the music going, because, we're getting older, so it's turning to you guys, Brandon and Hugh. You are the ones that are now going to pass it on to your children. And
I mentioned that we do like to post our favorite songs in the community section, and you can click right on the video in the community section. It'll take you right to the song.
Yeah,
and good ones. There's a few good ones there already.
If you go onto the Idiosyncratic Idiots Music Meltdown community page, There'll be some of the songs from some of the little videos that we do. We put up there, and you can click right on it and listen.
Also, our playlist.
Yep, and we have a
Favorite songs
playlist. So this is why I have the boss with me, because she is the overall director of JJP Productions.
If anybody wants to, learn a variety of different kind of genres and older music, our playlist is a good place to start.
So check out that. We're still just getting this all started, but there's obviously more to come. I appreciate everybody who's joined us tonight. It means the world to me. I mean, so many great artists, and the thing is once you find an artist that you like, then do the deep dive and learn the stories about, I don't know, how they came up with the name of the band or what was their backstory.
Nice, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, 70s had great music.
And I bet you, Brandon, as you go through that playlist, you'll see how the music progressed, and you'll see the 70s and the 2000s. I mean,
what are Brandon's favorite 70s songs?
What bands from the 70s do you like, Brandon? I mean, that's a great, and I do the same thing. I'm not too big right now into some of the stuff that's coming out now. I mean, it's a little bit, I think it's just a little too polished, and that's unfortunately the problem with no, here's the thing. Like I was talking about Phil Lesh passing away, he made a statement in his book, Searching for Sound. It's all good. It's all good. I mean, when in his book he said, look, there's no mistakes in music. There's just missed opportunities. So, there's no right or wrong, and that's what makes it. It's like anything creative. I mean, on a little side note, for those, struggling with their sobriety and things of that nature, there's all these creative things, and obviously music, you don't even have to have a gift for that, but just making noise on a guitar or drums or whatever it might be, drawing, coloring, writing, any of those kind of
constructive creativity.
Yeah, exactly.
It helps the soul,
and it will help you and allow you a way of escape. But
woodworking, and you can building things, you can't go wrong with.
Derek Trucks, Derek, Derek Trucks, and there you go. That blues.
Who's the one?
Muddy Waters is another one.
Yeah.
Howlin' Wolf.
Good ones.
Albert King, and then you got the modern ones like Stevie Ray Vaughan and Kenny Wayne Shepherd, and there's so many, Hugh. I mean, it's a dive that will take you. You could go for years and years through going all the way back to Robert Johnson and the story of the Crossroads.
Yeah,
and,
some of those old blues are fantastic.
Sister. Yep, that's it. Sister Rosetta Tharpe, and there's so many great artists.
Tell Hugh about Blackberry Smoke.
Blackberry Smoke.
That's a really
is another
cool
Charlie
one.
Starr and the boys, and
we'll have to put up a Blackberry Smoke.
Yeah, that's another. That's a more modern band, but they definitely has that southern.
Really good.
And then you have the music from the southern part of the United States. Then you have the Texas kind of music.
What's the name of that Blackberry Smoke song?
One Horse Town.
Yeah.
Then you have the Texas. Then we go into the later time, the more modern times in the 80s and 90s, when there was the West Coast rap and the East Coast rap, and there's West Coast rock bands and East Coast, and you can really see the influence of the area of the country. But Americana, Lucero's another great American band that you may never heard of, that I suggest you check them out. I mean, There's so much out there. It is absolutely endless, and dare I say priceless, because most of it, if you got a phone with a mobile data or an internet connection at your house, a Wi-Fi connection, it's all on YouTube, and you can dive for days. You want to take a day, a rainy day like we've had today here at the Music Nerd headquarters, and just sit there and go through and find songs. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And I've been so blessed. I grew up in the southwest suburbs of Chicago, and heard Muddy Waters play at my high school in the 70s, and that was an amazing experience. So, I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight, and who's hung in there with me. Like I said, this is all relatively new. So bear with me if I'm not. Again, my name is Timothy Lee. I'm from Music Meltdown. I got my partner, Boots, our mascot, behind me, and the overall boss of the operation, Jesse Jones, sitting next to me to my left. And she's the one that directs, produces, edits, films most of the videos. I'm just the silly guy in front of the camera. So, but I do want to say, number one, thank you to all the listener, or to all the viewers that really gave us a lot of love on the video for the Grateful Dead, about the hotel clerk with the Grateful Dead. That was an amazing response, and I want to thank everybody.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, thank you. It's been amazing to see the response and so many great comments.
We appreciate everybody.
So we're down. Just.
Oh, you just keep. It's okay. Just
So
follow. Just go back to your outline.
And like we were just doing with Brandon and Hugh, what we want to do is have interactive videos and these live videos where we can all discuss. I mean, community is what music is about, and there's really no better band than the Grateful Dead to talk about community. I mean, here this band is, Jerry Garcia's passed away 30 years ago, and they still have a monstrous community. So, it amazes me that it lives on here. And now they've had a whole 29, almost 30 more years with the Dead and Company, with Warren Haynes playing the part, John Mayer playing the part now, and they're still doing it. And that's what
Brandon what his favorite metal songs are, rock and metal songs.
Yeah, he's I think he's off now.
Okay, I gotta go pick up.
But we are really so thankful for each and every one of you who have subscribed, because it's without you, this doesn't exist. And I'm over the moon that every one of you took the time to subscribe, to watch some of the videos, or maybe all of them, and hung in there with us, because this means a lot to both me and Jesse for coming along for the ride. And hopefully we can all build a community of lovers of music and lovers of the power of music.
I'll be back.
And okay. And that's really what we're here for. And remember that. Thank you, Hugh. I appreciate it. It was wonderful to hear your stories too, and I hope that there's something we've introduced you to that you can dive into, and because that's the goal of this whole thing. I mean, I'm not an expert. I'm certainly, I'm not a music theorist or some archivist or anything like that. I'm just a guy who loves music, and I know that at my age in the 60s, it's important that I continue to pass it down to the younger generation, because soon enough you're going to be sitting in the same spot I am, and hopefully passing it to your kids and to the young people your time. So that's the thing here, you know, and that's the and again, there's really not that much terrestrial radio anymore. You know, America used to always be, you know, KLOS, KSHE in St. Louis, KLOS in Los Angeles, KOMP in Las Vegas, um, WXRT in Chicago. There were some great radio stations that were just, you know, terrestrial radio stations back in the 70s and the 80s. A lot of that stuff is gone. You know, a lot of it's just gone to pipe music. They don't even have live DJs anymore. So, uh, that's why it's important for us as individuals to carry music and to keep pushing it forward. You know, and there's no wrong genre, there's no right genre. It doesn't matter what kind of music it is, it's just music. And another big thing that I think we all need to do is to support local music. Whatever town you're living in right now, whatever area, maybe surrounding area or county, support the local bands in your area. There's some really great musicians in this little small area of Northwest Pennsylvania that I live in that, you know, are phenomenal, and it's important to support them. It's not a cheap hobby, that's for sure. You know, guitars and all the equipment that comes along with it. It's not cheap, and they don't make a lot of money, but they do it because they love music, and that's another thing. I'm glad that came to my mind, that to support uh, your local musicians. You know, just go out. And I know it might be a little hard for you, Hugh, at your age, but you'll get there soon enough. And just support them. And when you get old enough, and go check them out, or if it's one of those like summer things in your town where they play in the local park or whatever that's sponsored by the town, go out and check them out, and you know, hoot and holler and clap, and that's what propels the music and keeps them going. So you know, so that's really what we're trying to do. We're gonna really shoot for, at a minimum, once a week. You know, we'd like to do more than that if possible, and we'll just have to. Unfortunately, we still have jobs and everything like that, and life's going on. So I mean, we're gonna have to, you know, deal with all that. But definitely, probably either going to be on a Thursday night or a Friday night. Uh, may change. We're not really sure. We're still trying to work out the logistics of all this, but I'm so thankful for those that have joined us tonight and the interaction of the chat. Uh, that's what this is all about. And there's so many great people, and there's so many great communities, and we can get into, you know, concert stories and I don't know, first times this hearing a band, or some uh, a big event in your life that you can associate with with a certain song or a certain band or a certain genre of music. There's so many of them, and I have hundreds of them. I've been blessed. I've worked in hotels and casinos for many years, for almost 20 years, and I was blessed to meet a bunch of bands. I also worked in catering at a rock concert venue in Reno, Nevada, and I was blessed to meet a lot of bands. And there's some great stories. I mean, priceless stuff. This was a different time than it is now, but even now, you know, the I think maybe not some of the more, you know, older acts that are still out touring, but there's a lot of bands now that are way more interactive with the fans because of a thing called YouTube, honestly, or Instagram, or you know, all the streaming services. So you know, that's a great thing because that's what makes music special. And when you get to interact with the bands and talk with them on a personal basis, it's amazing. Case in point, if you saw the video that we did about the government mule show in Cincinnati at the Taft Theater in 2014, Halloween 2014, Warren Haynes, Jackie Green, the guest, and all the band, they stood out at the bus for well over an hour after a 4.5, 5 hour show and answered gear questions, talked about the music, took pictures, signed autographs. I mean, and that's what I love. Back in the 70s and 80s, it wasn't quite that open and it wasn't quite so accessible. So, especially, I can remember going to concerts. The last few concerts I've been to, everybody's holding the phone up in the air and they're all filming and never happened when I was going to shows in the 70s and the 80s because they didn't have cell phones then. But uh, we were smuggling in cameras to get, still pictures. So uh, that's, but I don't know if that's a good thing, but at the same time, it has opened up artists because they know the power of YouTube, of the streaming, these social media outlets. There's no doubt that they understand that that's a way for them to increase their uh, their audience and their ability to be seen and be known. So good and bad. So I really love that part as well, and I'm so thankful for the artists. Let's go through some of the artists that I have met over the years. Ted Nugent, uh, the guys, well, not the original, but the Journey band with when Steve Perry and Greg Raleigh and Neil Schon and Ross Valerie and Ainsley Dunbar was still with them at the time playing drums. And I guess the best for me, oh, you know what, Hugh, I don't know if you're still on with us, but one of my favorite bands and always will be is Thin Lizzy, which is another band I highly suggest you go up and you look. Phil Lynott, it's kind of an Irish English band, and well, Irish mostly. Three Irish guys and an American. So and to meet Phil Lynott, who's rest in peace, Phil passed away sadly in 1986. Uh, that's definitely a band I suggest to check out. So I'm so thankful that those of you who've joined us tonight. And again, my name is Timothy Lee. I'm your host for Idiosyncratic Idiots Music Meltdown. This is our premiere live. We are so thankful to each and every one of you subscribers because without you, this doesn't happen. So it's because of you, you've opened up this opportunity for me. So I'm so thankful for that. And I know Jessie, who had to step out for a while, uh, she is overwhelmed with thanks for all the support, all the views, with all the fun stuff we've done with the B rolls. I hope you're enjoying that. As you can see, she's got her hands full with me. So, but we're really, really excited to be doing these, and have this platform to share my thoughts and mostly your thoughts as well. That's part of what I want is the interaction with you guys. And please, when you're watching the videos, I'm not going to be one of these ones to do the, what is it, like the like or subscribe, smash the like and hit the bell icon and all that. I mean, of course, we'd love you to do that. But the big thing I like is write in the comments of a video of something that maybe you would like to see or something that relates to you as revolving around the video. And that's what we've really been enjoying. That Grateful Dead video has just exploded. And the comments and the stories that have been shared by some of the folks have just been absolutely outstanding. And I'm overwhelmed with the response, and that's been so enjoyable. So thank you so much to each and every one of you. It is unbelievable that that this is even possible. So and we hope that you join us along for the ride. But I'm glad for each and every one of you that's joined us tonight. We're going to go for about another 15 minutes. So just looking to build a community to talk music and how music has affected your life, how it's helped you, I mean, there's so many times that music has carried me through some dark times in this life, and at the same time, music sometimes is hard to listen to because it brings brings back bad memories or bad times in my life. So, uh, but that's the intrinsic power of music, and that's what I love. And so, I highly suggest that you know take the time to drown out all the other noise in this life and put on some music. Again, this isn't a paid advertisement, but I use the streaming service Tidal, Tidal. Highly recommend it for those of you that are audiophiles and are into the really hardcore stuff. They offer FLAC files, which I believe they're one of the only. There's only a few streaming services that offer FLAC files on a streaming service. Mostly it's just MP3 and that kind of thing, or WAV files. So if that's what you're into, the other thing that, again, an unpaid advertisement here is the brand earbuds that I use are called Neura True Pros. I believe Denon now bought the company, but you look up Neura True Pros. Those are some of the best earbuds I've ever had, and they work really well with the FLAC files and the high end audio. So, um, you know, even if you go out and buy a small, like 5-inch woofer set of studio speakers, and then you can put your own equalizer on it and tune the music up to the way you want to listen to it. But um, I definitely suggest you do that, and spend a little time throughout your week, whether it be at work. Some people can't listen to music at work, or some people, it doesn't work in their work schedule. But if you're walking, if you're commuting, uh, and obviously there's Sirius Radio. That's a great service too. It's relatively inexpensive, and you know it's a little bit, it's obviously programmed, and you're gonna eventually hear a lot of the same music over and over, but at the same time, it'll still introduce you to lots of genres. And if it's something new to you, then I highly suggest that you look that up, Sirius Radio. And again, that's available where I think you can get it in your car. Excuse me. I have it on my phone, but obviously that's an affordable service that you can find to stream music. So, you know, again, thank you all of us. My name is Timothy Lee. I'm the host of the Idiosyncratic Idiots Music Meltdown. Um, Jesse is a producer, director. She's not here right now. She's on her way back, but um, we are so thankful to everybody who has climbed aboard this train so far. We're having a lot of fun doing this. It helps me to maintain, a sober life and, a right mind and share stories. I mean, it's time. I'm older now, judging by all the gray hair and all the wrinkles and lines. I'm on this side of the hill of life. For you younger folks that are still climbing, you know, find some music, find the power of it. It doesn't matter what kind. There's no right or wrong answer. It's kind of like drawing. There's no right or wrong painting. But I really suggest that you guys go out there and find music. And I want to thank everybody who's joined us tonight and gave us a thumbs up. Um, Again, this is our premiere. This is the first time we've done this, and it's been really, really fun for me to spend this time. And I want to thank everybody who joined us tonight: Brandon, Hugh, um, anybody else who's been aboard. Hopefully that we've introduced you to the outline of what we're trying to do here. We hope that you've enjoyed the videos we put up so far. We obviously are going to continue to do videos, God willing, and and we hope to, our hope is that you enjoy them when we put them out there. I know Jessie does a lot of work on the editing. That's her specialty, and she's really good at it. So I want to thank her for doing it. But again, any video that you see and there's something that you would like us or relevant to that video or just something you'd like us to do in the future, drop it in the comments. Or if you catch us on the next live stream or this last 10 minutes of this one, drop it in the chat. That's what the great thing about this. It's open. There's no structure. I'm not here to push an agenda. This is not sponsored or any of that kind of stuff. It's just a guy talking music and just trying to introduce new music to anybody that is looking to expand their horizons as far as the musical. So the band that I want to tonight, take it easy, lady. Making a lot of noise. The great producer is back from her rendezvous. So
Rendezvous?
Yeah. So the band that I want to bring up tonight in this last 9 minutes, I think that's the way we're going to run these lives. And I think, unless the producer has other ideas, is I want to introduce one band for that night. And the band for tonight, ironically, is entitled The Band. Robbie Robertson, Rick Danko, Levon Helm, Richard Manuel, and Garth Hudson. They started in 1958 to 1963 as Ronnie Hawkins' backing band, the Hawks. They're all from Canada, except for the great Levon Helm, who's from Turkey Scratch, Arkansas, if you can believe it. And in 1966, they took Bob Dylan electric and famously got roasted by all the, I forget what they call them at the time, all the folk people that didn't want Bob Dylan to go electric, and they went out as his backing band, and he started doing electric music, and it was phenomenal. And there's some great music out there. And then they went on to form the band, I believe, in 1973. And no, not 70. Yeah, it might be. I'm not exactly sure on the date that they started the band, but they went on to do many records. And then, of course, the penultimate show was The Last Waltz, directed by the great Martin Scorsese, put on by the late, great Bill Graham at, I believe, the Winterland in San Francisco. And it was an amazing night of the stars upon stars of the 70s. Neil Diamond, Bob Dylan, Eric Clapton, Muddy Waters, Ronnie Hawkins, Bobby Charles, Joni Mitchell, the staple, Mavis Staple, and Pop Staples. It was a who's who of the music industry. Neil Young, Van Morrison. So I highly suggest we're going to end this tonight with the recommendation for the night, and that's The Last Waltz by the band. Go check it out. It's available in a video movie form, or obviously you can just get the audio. And I highly recommend you go out there and find that and listen to that record. It's an amazing, amazing piece of music. And
maybe we can put a song of the band in our community section.
That's fine if you want.
Not our playlist.
That's fine. So that's my recommendation tonight. The band, The Last Waltz. My favorite on that is the song Caravan that they did with Van Morrison. That is just an amazing, incredible outland. And obviously all the band songs that they did, Up on Cripple Creek, The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down.
Oh, those are both good ones.
The Shape I'm In. There's Stage Fright. There's
so many. The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down. Yeah, that's a good one. We'll put that one up.
Okay, that's the song that Jesse's going to put up on the community or in the playlist or in the community, one of the two. So we want to thank everyone who joined us tonight. Bless you all. I hope you're all safe and well tonight. I hope you're warm, and I am overwhelmed with all the support that everybody has given us. And I'm thankful for each and every one of you for subscribing, for viewing, and join us again. Hopefully, I don't know what the boss has in mind, but I'm thinking next Thursday we'll do this again. Same time, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That would be 5 o'clock Pacific Time. And we're just thankful for every one of you who joined us. We wish you a great week. We wish you a discovery of new music this week. And our suggestion is the band, The Last Waltz. So if you haven't heard it or you don't know it, go check it out. Look it up on YouTube. Look it up on your favorite streaming service. Wherever you find your music, you'll find it. The band, The Last Waltz. Bless you all.
Is it a song?
No, that's the name of the record.
Oh, the record.
Be blessed. Have a great week. Be safe. And remember, let's keep the music alive and let's keep it loud. Bless you all. Thanks for joining us. Have a great evening and have a great weekend.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Tune in again. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Thanks for joining us. Good night, everybody. Have a great evening. Have a great weekend, and a great following week. And be safe and be blessed. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next week.